I've got so many tabs, I can't find it.
I know, I was in the same boat.
That's C?
C, as in the letter C. This episode is brought to you by the letter C.
The letter C. Now
Next,
I need an app
tutorial.
so I can toot. I am at Joe. I like it. I've never been able to be at Joe anything.
I know.
It's
See
like
how-
the most
see how
common
cool it
name
is?
on the planet. I don't remember what my handle is at what did we
You better
what
find,
did I
it's
join?
Joe at
I don't remember
Joe
that
at
part.
C.im.
What is it?
You're at Joe at
C.im.
Yeah.
Your username is Joe.
I've
Joe.
got 9 browsers.
It's just Joe.
I know, but
How
I
you
can't
forget that? It's
find
just
it.
Joe.
How could I
That's
not
the
find
same
this? I'm
problem,
still
though.
clicking. There's so many.
It's just Joe. It's just Joe. Just find me at Joe.
All right.
Milk was a bad choice. Verify, baby. Hey.
Join us.
Hold on, but that was one. Hold on. Dan, there was one that I need you to just isolate.
Distro Tango. An intimate look.
Barry White couldn't have said it better.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm up.
Yes.
Yep.
Turns out you still, Dan.
Coming up on this episode of Linux User Space, we make a choice, the red one or the blue one. We recommend a great weekly podcast, and we get to basics for our app. Hey, and welcome to the space of Linux users. I'm Dan.
Joe, I'm.
I'm Leo.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going. I'm
Joe,
all.
So I
you
hear
have-
you got some. Oh yeah, Joe. I hear you got some new storage appliance thing going on over there.
Yeah. I've been playing with the Synology DS920 Plus. I don't know. It's got 4 spots, 4 drives. It's got a quad core something or other with 8 gigs of RAM and 2 M.2 cache slots. So I'm happy.
You're just throwing Plex all over the place, right? Letting everybody watch all your
no,
movies.
because I already have a full blown Plex server. That's a big computer. I think I will though if I think this would easily replace a Plex. Like this would be a nice Plex server, I think, and probably could do a handful of other things very easily. So it would be nice to get a box out of my office. That would be great because then I could go to it's a nice little box. So on the picture, it's one of those pictures where you look at it and you're like, oh man, where am I going to put that? And then you get it and you're like, oh, it's so nice and little. This is great. So it's not much bigger than those 4 drives side by side. I mean, maybe the width of 5 drives side by side. It's
Yeah, so they sneak that motherboard and processor in
yeah,
there.
it's buried. I don't know where that sucker is, but
So what kind of storage you getting at? So you said 4 terabyte drives?
yeah, I started with 4 4-terabyte drives because the 4-terabyte Iron Wolves. Is it Iron Wolf? I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like
yeah,
100.
those are good.
They're like $100, I think. So
Yeah, they're very cheap.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to buy more storage, and I think I can't go with the 4s. I have to go with the 6s because of the cache size. The cache on the
6.
4s is still 64
okay.
megs, but I think the 6 is when it starts to get up to 128 and 256 megs.
see, and I think I'm avoiding that. I hope. Again, I just got this, but those 2 M.2 slots
Oh yeah,
are so
Yep.
I'm gonna throw a couple of M.2s in there, and that's gonna handle my cache.
yeah. Okay,
I-
That
cool.
makes sense. That's
think,
good.
I think.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works.
How
I
big
think
are you
we
looking?
should.
What's that?
How big are you looking drive wise to put in the cache?
I was gonna put 2 512s in.
So
So
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah, so
that's a lot
so
of
I think,
cache.
yeah, oh yeah, cache is raining.
That's
so,
you know what they are doing in a teeny tiny box is what companies like Nimble do when you've got like spinning disk storage, you've got SSD storage, and then you've got straight cache storage. And these guys charge, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not saying that it's 1-to-1 equal or anything.
Oh,
but
it is.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
definitely 1-to-1. My well, so 550. You figure it's $550 for the box, and then another $400 in drive. So you're almost $1,000 probably.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely equal to. What'd you say? $1 million? Same.
Yeah,
Thing.
yeah,
100,
something like
probably
that.
100,000.
100,000.
Yeah,
Sure, it's the same.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Apples
But I
to
mean,
apples.
just the fact that you can get a hold of, and with almost zero effort, get something that folks pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, Synology. I mean, I've heard others rave about them for a while.
Yeah.
And I think it varies.
Well, it is.
Go ahead, Dan.
Linux under the hood, right? I
It's
mean,
Linux.
Like Linux
No,
under
it's
the hood.
Linux.
It's running
I was-
ButterFS.
Yeah.
It's doing all the things. It's ticking the boxes.
Yeah, I was literally. Yeah, it is so. I'll start really from the beginning because you just can't believe how easy it was. I literally powered this thing up, popped the drives in. It's got a website you start with that does your little setup. It's just all browser based, and it's like go to synologynaz.org or whatever, and it just finds your drive right there. Maybe 5 minutes of putting in some little data, name it, put it on the domain or whatever you're doing at your place, get it on the network. And then you are basically greeted with a web interface of a Linux desktop. I don't know, it felt very KDE-ish to me, maybe a little GNOME-ish, but it was definitely a Linux desktop. And then everything's there. They've even got like a little app store. And it's like, there's an app for every single thing. I didn't touch the command line at all. I did not even... It was a couple of clicks, maybe 30 minutes, and it was already building my drive pool, and I was done.
Yeah, the extra money that you spend. I mean, you're buying custom boards with M.2 slots for cache. You're buying a curated app store where you, as you said, don't have to touch the command line, and you can still get all these things that people of the TrueNAS variety rave about their TrueNAS being able to do. And then you start to look into it, and it's like, oh, that's difficult. A jail? A what now?
Oh, so I had a box that was a BSD box or a true NAS, free NAS. I had a free NAS box for a long time, and it was my Plex, and it was a Samba box, and it. I think I was only using it for that, and it ran off a little USB. That's cool, great, but man, the interface was hideous. It's all command line, and the jails like. Look,
they kind of work.
Well, they work, but like,
kinda.
I don't know how or why they work. And then this is America. If you say jails, like the whole time I'm just like, is this illegal?
Don't pass
like,
go, right?
What should I be doing this? Like, why are they called jails? Could we come up with some other? I assume it's jails because they're isolated.
Yeah,
compartment.
Yeah. Originally, that's where that came
like
from,
we have other names for that.
Well, not back then. Jails is a very old concept.
I know. They've been locking people up for years. I'm just saying, like decades.
It's
millions,
the first
hundreds
container,
of years.
that's why.
Yeah, but jails to me just didn't. I don't know. It just doesn't ring true. But I'm sure it works great for all you BSD folks out there. But yeah, super simple. Love the interface. Just couldn't be happier. So. It's one of one that I've ever owned. And, I've had devices in the past where it's like, oh, if I only ever owned that first one, it would have been great. And then like the next two were terrible.
Joe already went on to Amazon and pushed 5 stars on that.
Yeah. I don't do that enough. I need to do that a little more. I don't rate stuff.
There's some stuff that comes in, and I'm like, man, I love this thing. And then Amazon's like, hey, you want to go rate it? And I'm like, no. Hey. I really should. Yeah. I really should go.
Amazon, I see what you're saying, but that's like 3 extra clicks. And I'm all clicked out, man.
And then
I'm not sure I can write like those people though either. So that's the other thing.
No, that's just cut and paste, man. You go get a bot, and then they handle it all for you.
Yeah. Well, those are the annoying reviews, anyways. Like, okay, just stop. Did you like it? Give me a couple of the good points. If you didn't give me a couple of the bad points. I don't need to know that it took you 3 minutes, start to finish, to open the box and slide the thing over, and how soft the little plastic cover was, and then the little chamois that they gave you, and you wiped down your screen, and then you had an iced tea, and then you drank this, and you did that, you turned it on, you plugged it in, and then you hated it. Like, I don't
like that.
Just stop.
That reminds me of like the blogs that have recipes on them where you've got.
It takes you an hour and a half to get to the recipe.
Yeah, you're like, dude, I just need the recipe. And I know that's taking advantage of the Google search algorithm and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, dude, I just need to know how much salt to put in this.
That's it. Right. That's it. I'm trying to make these waffles, and why is it buried in 7 paragraphs at the bottom? It's just and 900 ads. Pinterest is the worst. I'm telling you, like it's.
I don't go there.
Yeah, whatever.
We have.
Dan
left
sends me
the
recipes
Linux
all the
user
time.
space. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
What's the open source version of Pinterest?
You know what?
know.
You know what? I know
if I
there
find
is
it, I'll
one.
let you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'll be some dumb.
I
name,
know there
though.
is one.
It's gonna be like, I don't know. it's gonna
You
be
can't even
something.
come
bad.
up with it.
No, I
It's-
can't because I'm just thinking like, what do we got? We got Matrix, we got Mastodon. It's gonna be like Footloose. Join Footloose, and you can look at all the pictures of all your friends who are baking cakes. Footloose.com.org.net. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Synology. If you're thinking of a NAS, I would highly recommend it. It is so choice.
And you've been doing a lot of back end work here lately. You said something about VLANs and cameras, right?
Yeah, I learned VLAN 101 this weekend, or at least what not to
Nice.
do.
And I called it. It was
Yep.
a default gateway. It's always a default gateway because it's hard to visualize how VLANs work and that you need a whole nother setup for it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. I was setting up.
Default gateway ranks right up there with DNS. They're
They're important.
like right near
Yeah.
each other. Yeah.
Well,
Once
it's
you get the
always one or
default
the other.
gateway, if you still don't have internet, it's DNS, right?
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, I was took the cameras. My IP scheme was getting a little crowded at the office there by the time, because I think, man, we're up to like 30 cameras I think now. So it just was getting
Nice.
the little block I had just wasn't working. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw these on another VLAN, and then as I add cameras, it's just easier. I'll know where they're at. I'm not guessing, and then I won't have to block so much stuff off in the router because I was like, okay, I don't want anybody else to get this one. And when I was programming the device, I put in the wrong default gateway. So
That'll get you every time.
yeah. So then I had to get my laptop and get onto that default VLAN by itself, and yada yada yada, fix it up, get it back. But yeah, Leo was dead on, knew exactly what the problem was. My brother called it too. I was talking to him and he's like, did you check your gateway? I'm like, man, no, I put it in perfect. I remember it was exactly blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
.254. And I'm like, wait, it's .1.
And that's what you did. You did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Networking. I've been doing a lot of networking stuff lately. It's fun. It's good to test yourself. When it all works, it's too easy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what I like to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my bread and butter right there. That's my daily. So I get it. I mean, we're segmenting off a Class B network.
Class
And-
B. Stepping
That's
up
what I
in
was
the
going to
world,
say
huh?
about Joe. Joe said he was running out of IP addresses, or his it was getting crowded. I'm
Yeah,
like, you just got to do what everybody else that doesn't know what they're doing does, right? You just 10
just get
and then
Well-
you use the 255.0.0.0, right? And you just chuck everything on the same LAN.
I'm
Don't
slash-
even
Yeah,
think
so-
about it.
I'm /24. /24. That's right?
Okay, all right.
That's Class
Yeah,
C.
so
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
C,
Well, if you use
yeah.
if you use /8, you're a maniac.
No.
Don't.
I'm /24, and which I had to learn that because I knew subnetting and stuff, but when you get into some of the gear, they don't want to know. You can't just give them like I want
Nope.
this class C or whatever. They're like, nope.
it's
Now you
cider.
want the /24, so you could do what 18, 24, 8, 12. I don't know, whatever else.
Yeah,
out
back
there.
in
Yeah,
back
you
in
can
the
break it
before
down, whatever,
time,
yeah.
I had a chart that had every one of those, right? 255 was 24, and all of the different ones.
Yep.
And that made it real easy for the students to kind of figure out what was going on until you remember the common ones, but like 30
Yeah.
for point to point, 24 for your normal size, 16 for what Dan was talking about, right? Like
That's a big.
you
network,
remember
though,
those,
Dan.
but
Because you're a college
Yeah.
campus, right? Yeah,
Yeah, so that's our public network.
Right, yeah.
Is a
your public
It's a
network
Class
is a
B.
Class B. Good
Correct.
night.
and then we have some private networks too.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
that breaks it down.
Yeah, I did add an employee
It's-
Wi-Fi network as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
everything is nice and
It's nice,
isolated.
yeah.
That's
Everybody's
good.
happy. They're
That's
out at
really
the-
good.
Yeah, they're outside.
Now-
Sun came
Now the
out
real
this week.
question
Cool.
though is, do you firewall from one VLAN to the other?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And the Dan does.
Well,
Does
so
Joe.
so yes, so my I have a guest network for customers, and that is
Mhm.
completely cut off from anything. You can't
Good.
you can't access
Fantastic.
anything on the network. The employee network cannot access any networking resources either. It's just a dedicated network. It's basically a guest network that's not going to drop you off the network after an hour, and they can stay on it all day. No, I'm trying to keep it. You know,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's real good.
I was just waiting to make fun of you, and then you're doing it right. Sounds like you're making good choices, Joe. You're making good choices.
I'm trying. I try so hard.
Nice work.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, these concepts fly over the head of just about everybody, and yeah, man, you're good choices. Good choices.
Isolation.
So you know what's not easy?
You know what is isolated?
Oh,
Hold on.
it will always.
Hold on. Let me log into my. What's it called?
Hold on. Which app is it? Is it the fuzzy one?
I want to get.
A
let's
fluffy
see.
one? You got a fluffy one, don't you?
Oh, fluffy.
Okay.
That's okay.
Where's the one that I took the red pill for?
That's the one.
Yeah, but it's not called the red pill. It's.
All right. So what we're talking about here is Matrix.
Yes.
We I thought Leo was pulling my leg last show, and it turns out he really wasn't.
A little bit, but mostly no. Just this.
Yeah.
Was,
Wow. Okay. So we got a little flack for this because I think we did. I think we glossed over some things, and I think we want to set the record straight because even though we gave it a little bit of a hard time, it is confusing, and we want to dispel some things. So we're going to talk about Matrix.
So when you say gloss over, like we literally took snowboards and just cut just cut thick lines over the whole, just shredded over the whole thing because
we did.
Well, it's not. I'm telling
it's
you,
not
like
easy.
I feel like we're three pretty like up on thing guys. Now we're not like there's people better at all kind of things than us, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
But I feel like we stay in the know. Like I'm on Matrix. Like I've had a Matrix account. I don't know how it works. Like, I mean, it's a thing and I get on, but trying to explain how it works.
Yeah, I think we need to do that because I think that's a public service we can provide, right?
Yeah, that's kind of my issue as well. I never had a Matrix account. So my only real knowledge about Matrix came from the offhanded remarks that would happen on podcasts or in general chat rooms, and it would always in the same breath you would always hear, "Oh yeah, I'm on Matrix and Mastodon, and I do this Matrix and it's federated like Mastodon." And so there's all this stuff coming at you. I don't know what either of these things are when I first hear about them, and yeah, like and you keep hearing these server buzzwords like federated. And I don't know why is any of it federated? And then you realize that it's all decentralized, and you're like, okay, so these words start to make sense. But from a point of view of someone that did zero Googling the first time that we talked, so on the last episode, I absolutely did zero Googling on all this and was running off the fumes that I was getting from all the other places that I've heard this stuff about. It just doesn't make sense. Like, if that were the only thing for you to go off of, the next step would be Google a bunch. Go to matrix.org and read the whatismatrix.org. And I think, Joe, you made the point the last time where it was like Twitter's Twitter. When you go find Twitter, you go get Twitter, and you're on Twitter, and you do tweets.
Doing tweety stuff? Yeah, all kind of tweety. Yep.
Right. And so, yeah, this is kind of where this diverges a little bit, because it's not so cut and dry.
I'm still hunting for my Matrix app. It's there. I know there's a Matrix app. But every time I search it, it's just a bunch of pictures of Neo and the other chick and the other guy, and they're just doing like cartoony things. There's no.
So yeah, we're gonna let Dan, our resident expert, subject matter expert.
You went there.
Yep. By expert we mean knows more than the other two of us.
Yeah, he uses it more than we do. I think that's it.
All right, I'll give you that. Like, subject matter expert, I don't know if I'm qualified for that, but I think we can try to be, a reference for hopefully other people.
Yeah, we drudged through the mud, so you don't have to.
That's a scary thing that anybody's going to reference us. But hey.
Well, I don't know.
If you end up here,
good luck.
Misery loves company.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Matrix, what is it? From the website, Matrix is an open source project that publishes the Matrix open standard for secure, decentralized, real-time communication, and its Apache license reference implementations.
Oh, it's Bitcoin.
Sure.
Yeah, decentralized money.
Decentralized, right? No, decentralized banks. Is that same? No. Okay.
So what the decentralized part is, so basically you have these isolated silos, if you will, and everybody runs their own instance. We'll get into that. And so everybody's on their own thing, not one big giant thing like everybody's on the Twitter server.
Right.
And there is no other Twitter server. There's only Twitter. This is more, isolated. So we'll get to that. Further, maintained by the nonprofit Matrix.org Foundation, we aim to create an open platform which is an independent, vibrant, and evolving as the web itself, but for communication.
Okay, I think that is very confusing.
It really is.
And these things are on the about, right? Like these, you go to matrix.org and you're like, what is this? And you click on that link and that's what you get. And I think for folks that are not really that deep into tech, right? It's just like, oh, there's an app. I got an app. I signed up for the app. I'm in the app. Like, if that's the kind of person that you are, then, I mean, I can absolutely see how this is so just, it's confusing. It really kind of is.
Well, especially if you're trying to do, even if you're not trying to go as deep as we're trying to on things.
Yeah, and I think we're kind of deep diving here.
If you just want to understand what it is you're signing up for, and that's what you go read.
It seems a little discouraging.
It just, I'm like, okay, so like I get what it is, but it's not. The mission statement isn't. It could be clearer and more vibrant. I think the mission statement. This is, to me, reads like technical jargon. Yes, this is how it works. These are the nuts and bolts. Doesn't tell me why I want to use it or anything like that.
To their credit, it's a protocol.
Yes.
Right? I mean, if you've ever had the displeasure of ever reading a white paper or an RFC or...
That's exactly what I was thinking, a white paper. It's a white paper. Yeah.
So to their
it's
credit... It's a
little better than a white paper maybe, but I get
it's
your
a white
point.
paper with like a red box at the top. That's all it is. It's got.
I think it's you must have read at least one white paper and it understood a quarter of it to understand this, right? Like I think there's a little bit of a gap there, but yeah.
So... what does all that mean, right? So let's get some bullets in here. We'll kind of maybe synopsize things a little bit. I'm not sure. Matrix is the standards or the protocol that is used by the different servers. So there's many different ones. Synapse is actually the reference server, if you will. It's the most popular one. But there's also Dendrite, which is a rewrite in Go.
Terrible name.
And
sounds like dandruff.
Conduit. Yeah, Conduit, which is a better name. And that's a rewrite in Rust. But there's others too. So there's many different ones. The main corporation, I guess, if you will, that's behind all of this is pushing Synapse, and then everything else is sort of based off of that.
Right. So can I ask a question? Or maybe you're going to answer it. Leo, you go ahead, because you're going to answer my question.
To put that in a nice, neat little package, Synapse, Dendrite, and Conduit are all the same thing, just in different languages, and they are the server.
The servers.
This is what you run to allow people to sign up and communicate with other people in that server. And then you can, we're going to talk about federation later on, right? But I mean, the idea is that eventually you connect the server up to the other servers, and then you can talk to everybody. So most people, 99% of people, are never going to care about Synapse, Dendrite, or Conduit. They're going to go to a web page that says, here, sign up, and click it, and be done, right?
So there is a lot of gobbledygook here, and we're going to put it down there in the doobly-doo, which is the show notes, so that you can click on it and go
to the
find out more. Yeah, you can find out more all by yourself. But the next part is probably the more exciting part, because we're going to be talking about the clients that are using the servers. And so there's Element, which is the most popular, and that's the one that's kind of pushed by the main company again. So Element and Synapse go together. But then there's also like neochat and fluffychat, and I don't know. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them.
Which one goes with dandruff? I would like to join the dandruff server.
It's a dendrite server and dandruff client.
Yeah, I don't think it is dandruff, but
okay.
Hold on, neochat is the K app, right? Like that's the KDE one.
That's a fairly new application, and it's pushed by it's backed by the KDE.
What are they doing with that C in there? There should be a K, and they know it. And I'm disappointed.
neochat, where are you at?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's actually very good. I've used it a little bit, and it has some drawbacks. So Element comes in many different flavors. It comes in the Android app, it comes in a web app, and there is there's a desktop client as well that you can install.
You just totally forget the Apple.
How are you going to forget
here.
Apple?
Yeah, come on.
There is.
I'm offended.
There's something, I think.
No, it's Element. It really is just straight up Element.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an Apple, so I don't know.
Oh, gosh. Even calls it an Apple. My goodness.
I don't have one of those things.
My white privilege is
I don't have one of those Macintoshes.
Yes,
I don't have a anything.
I am so offended.
You should be.
I feel discriminated against.
I try. So that's the most popular one, and probably the most feature rich because it's got the most backing, I will say.
Right. So on the opposite side of that conversation, we talked about Synapse and Dendrite and Conduit, and those are the servers, and most people won't ever think about that or touch that or do anything with that. You're probably going to end up with Element. That's
probably.
Yeah, as you mentioned. I mean, it's when you go to matrix.org and you learn about Matrix and you click on try it, it moves you straight to the Element sign-up thing that signs you up with an account on matrix.org, but they tell you to get the Element app to handle it all. So, yeah, Element is quite likely what you're going to get unless you want something else. I mean, Fractal, neochat, fluffychat. If there's something in one of those that you want, obviously move to that one. Your account will work with any of those. But, yeah, I think most people are just going to end up with Element because it's there and it's obvious.
Yep.
Can I ask a question? Now that you started talking,
go ahead.
So I can interrupt you.
You got to raise your hand. You have to raise your hand. first.
Sir, I have a question.
There you go. Yeah, Joe there in the back on the third row.
Well, so I'm wondering, sir.
Please, Joe, go.
Sir, I'm wondering why would it be Synapse, Dandruff, or Conduit, or Go server? Like, why wouldn't they all be Synapse? Like, why would someone do that? I'm just asking. Just curious.
Some people like different languages. I mean, yeah, that's it.
So this is like literally the French class, the English class, and the Spanish class, but we're all learning language.
Yeah, you're all saying the same thing, right? I mean, that's the deal. I think that's the whole point of open source. We're like, oh, there's too many distros. Yeah, there's too many servers of Matrix. That's the thing, right? Like, no one's going to stop you from taking whatever Synapse is written in and just rewriting it in a separate language and being like, well, this one's better because, I mean, it's in Rust. So, right? I
mean, Joe, you like XFCE, and Leo, you like
XFCE.
You like Plasma. So,
the bee's knees XFCE.
Boy, they all do the same thing at the end of the day.
Wait, the bee's neochat. That's what it is with the K. You got to put it with the K.
It's the neochat. K-hat. I don't know. If they put the K in there, we wouldn't be able to say it because we'd all try and pronounce the K like we do on everything else they do.
Yeah,
we would.
Neo K-hat. You'd be like, what the heck's
So
that?
it's all up to you, and that's the decentralized nature. So how do we communicate with everyone because it's decentralized? Well, we form a federation.
Oh, Lord.
This sounds
This is
like
not a Star
cool.
Trek podcast, guys.
No,
Get,
as soon as
didn't
I
go
saw
there,
Federate,
you did.
I was like, all right, so who gets the spaceship? How do we figure out who the
Right.
captain is?
Yep.
And then, like, how do we start trading spice?
right.
Like, that's what I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Who's helming the
Where are the-
USS Linux user space?
Hey.
And where are the
Hey,
Orions? Anyway,
You know what, Joe? We are.
We are.
I took care of that.
We're at the helm.
think about this like email, though, right? So you have an email server at work. Leo has an email server at work. And you can email all of your company folk at your email server, and he can do that with his. And then you can still send emails back and forth between servers.
Nope, Leo's
So-
blacklisted.
Maybe he is. But
Yeah.
there
It's
is a
because of all
way-
the spam, I
It's
think.
the spam. Yeah, he's
But
blacklisted.
if you start, DKIM signing your messages, then he'll allow that because it looks like a trusted sender. So
That's true.
there you go.
I
That's
was-
a type of federation.
But I would never do that.
Got it.
You
So
probably
so
wouldn't.
my email server's a federation. His email server's a federation.
Mhm.
And then
Well, they're part of the federation. Yeah.
Right. So
well,
like,
that's what I'm saying. There are silos, and then we created a federation that's allowing us to talk
think
to
about
each
it like
other.
this, right? You got joescompany.com, Dan's got danscompany.com, and I've got leoscompany.com. And we can all send like I've got Jill at leoscompany.com and
Mhm.
Leo at leoscompany.com, and we can email each other, and that never leaves our little silo here. But Dan makes a widget, and I need that widget. So I need to email Dan and be like, I need 1 million widgets, okay? So what I will have to do is me from, leoscompany.com needs to email Dan at danscompany.com. And once we do that, we, I guess kind of in Matrixy speak, this is kind of part of that federation. I've
Right.
roped Dan into this. And then, Joe makes a sprocket that we need. So now we got to rope joescompany.com into all of this thing. And then now these 3 companies are now federated as far as like Matrix goes. And yeah, I'm sure this will totally make more sense here in just a little bit. But do you see the point?
Yes. I want to
Yeah.
rename my company to Spacely's Sprockets, please.
Hey,
Nice.
you did get the sprocket.
Spacely,
Oh,
good
man, how did you get the
I
sprocket?
want
in this one?
Spacely
I was supposed to
sprockets,
have
please.
the sprocket.
What was the other guy?
But like,
He wasn't in
I
enough
can't remember.
episodes. Go ahead, Dan. But what?
If you want to keep your Spacely Sprocket email server all to yourself,
I
you
can
can do
do
that.
that.
You
Oh,
can
yes.
throw it on another VLAN, and then you won't be able to communicate
Yes.
across the default gateway.
254.
Yeah, of course.
So you can do that. You can keep it all to yourself and keep your email
Mhm.
all to your company, or you can join Federation and send emails everywhere.
And then you
So
can
that's the
even
beauty.
email gmail.com stuff too once you do that.
Oh,
That's
right.
the real beauty of doing this
So you're-
federation thing.
So you're saying
get access
somebody
to
is
everybody.
reading all of our messages? You said
If
Gmail.
you send it to them, it's on
if
their
you
server
join
now
their
too.
room and send it to
Yeah.
them, yeah.
They can see all our our encrypted, not encrypted.
But no, it's encrypted. It's end-to-end encrypted.
I just wanted to
Hold
poke.
on,
It-
wait.
it's a,
I wanted to poke.
So
a
we're
hole
going to
in
get to
this.
that.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna
Let's
get
get to that because I got beef with that statement.
Oh, is it like
Uh-oh.
end-to-end encrypted, like Telegram?
No, like a private chat in Telegram
Uh-huh.
or just Signal by default.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I promise. So, yeah, Matrix calls those home servers. So, matrix.io is an example of one of those public home servers, but you can spin your own. And the option to federate is your own, or you can stay off the grid and have an isolated home server. Secure. Yes, it is secure. Sure is. And some of the clients don't support encryption, and I'm going to leave a link so you can go check out which clients do support the encryption, and check that for yourself. Now, not all the rooms support secure end-to-end, but any new rooms created have the encryption enabled by default.
Unless here's the
Uh-oh.
beef.
Uh-oh.
Go.
Unless they're public. Our chat is not end-to-end encrypted because
It's
public.
a public chat.
Right. And that makes total and 100% sense when you realize anybody that would want to break your encryption could just join your channel and vacuum up all the chat anyway. So there's no point in
scoop it
encryption.
out.
But
Yeah.
There's no point in putting the locks on the door if you're just going to take the doors off the hinges.
Exactly, right? That's exactly, that's a great way to put that. But just keep in mind, if you care, there's a little shield next to things, next to all over the place, like in the Element app anyway. There's a shield here and there if you want to check and see if you're actually encrypted here or there or whatever. But yeah, just keep in mind, if you can just rando join a public room or whatever, it's a good chance it's not encrypted because anybody could do that.
That's right. But if you already had a private room, if you will, and you didn't have end-to-end encryption turned on, you can do that later. That's an option there. Or if I'm going to send Leo a message directly, that is end-to-end encrypted, and that's a secure chat.
Yeah,
So.
and I got beef with that too.
Oh boy.
So I'm fairly new to all of this, right? So I mean, I'm running into all the brick walls that come up. And the first brick wall that comes up is I logged on to Element on my thing, on my browser.
On your browser,
off the bat, right? And everything worked great. I didn't run into any brick walls. I was able to join the Linux Mint group, public group thing, and the Ubuntu public group thing.
Does it
and
look
the
better?
Debian one. Actually, it's not bad. I
look
actually
at it.
kind of enjoyed it. It reminds me a lot of Slack. So I mean, if you know how to handle Slack, you could probably just jump right into Matrix and get going.
Yeah, I
But
could buy that.
it's when I logged into my phone on the same Element app, I put in my password, and I go back and see Dan's message, and it says encrypted message or something like that. And I'm like, what? I just sent. Why is it encrypted? And then I try to access it, and it says, hey, you gotta authorize this app to be able to see the encryption before you can see the encrypted chat. And okay, I'm of two minds. Number one, that's fantastic, because if someone were to steal my account, they would not be able to see the messages that I've sent that were encrypted because they don't have the key. That's fantastic. But from a usability standpoint, I'm mad because all I want to do is get my messages. So this is that sliding scale, right? Usability, security. We're on the security side of this, and I appreciate that. But for someone that doesn't care, it's annoying.
But you can. So you can cross-sign your own clients. So I'll say this, right? Popey recently tweeted about this.
Yeah.
There's some UI inconsistencies.
I got the same beef as him because I'm not done.
and he did. He tweeted, and Matrix replied and said, "Yeah, we got a problem there. We got to fix that." But so you can cross-sign your other clients so that they all can share those same encrypted chats,
right?
And
have
then
a
you
question.
can look at those things.
I have
Go
a
ahead.
question. My hand's up.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Joe
Okay.
in the middle row again.
So I have only ever used the Element app,
Okay.
and
So
I
you will
joined.
never have run into this.
I joined our little thing here. By the way,
Okay.
Leo's link worked. Dan's force closed the app on my phone. So thank you for your link,
Good.
Dan.
Good.
job there. So
Perfect. That was planned.
I have a little shield next to my name,
Uh-huh.
even though this is the only app I have ever used for Matrix.
Okay.
Why do I need to cross-sign the only app with the
You don't
only
need to
app?
cross-sign.
But it says
You don't.
when I click on it that I do.
Okay, let me ask you this. Where was the very first place that you logged in?
Right here on this app.
You've never logged into
Never
any other
been
place.
on the web.
Are you sure?
I don't believe
Not
in
even
the
a
internet.
different phone?
Nope.
What about a different phone?
Oh, well, maybe a different phone.
Yep. New app, new device, new everything.
Every device.
Oh, okay. Well,
has
there you
its
go.
own
See?
fingerprint.
Yep.
So
That's
Every
it.
browser, every device,
I
they all have
did
their own
upgrade. I did
fingerprints.
get the new phone in the last 2
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
That
So
would be-
I'm-
Yeah,
I'll
that's a
say-
feature. That's a feature, like
Is
Leo
it?
said.
Is that a feature? Is that what
No,
that's
it
called?
is a feature
I think
for
so, yeah.
people
I'm just
that
kidding.
care
I'm just
about
kidding.
security.
It's great.
It seriously is. I appreciate this feature in the back end after I get over my frustration of not just being able to
Yeah.
access everything I want. But so
It's not
and
as
this is
smooth as it could be. I get that.
Right. Now, well, actually, you know what? Here's the thing, though. It is smooth. I'm just dumb.
It's not bad.
Like, okay, check it. Here's what you do. if I was logged into the browser, I was chatting away, I was talking to Dan, and I'm logging in onto my phone, and on my phone, it's like you have to cross sign, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. Sure. So I click it, and it brings up a little QR code on the browser.
Yes.
Like they are talking to each other. It's fantastic. The browser brings up a QR code, and I click not now on the allow element to get camera access. And then I just can't figure out how to bring it back. So I'm like, I don't know. But there's an alternate way to do it. So because I use my eyeballs, and it says, here's a string of emojis. Verify the string of emojis on your other device. And then you click trust on one device, you click trust on the other device, and it works.
So what if you no longer have the device?
Well, then you're being hacked.
No, I don't have the phone anymore. I got a new phone.
Oh.
How do
You're supposed to back up your keys.
Hey, you're supposed to back up your keys, Joe. I didn't know this, but I know it now.
Look.
So you get to remake it on a different server.
I think you can start over. There's a start over feature.
Yeah, start over.
Lose access. You just lose access
Just
to
wipe
the
your account.
old...
Great idea.
No.
Now I got to be JoJo Fett too. Great, thank you.
Well, it's very important to keep track of your keys. Just like
I didn't know I had
your
keys.
SSH keys.
I didn't know I had keys in Element.
Well, now you do.
Well, no, you don't have keys in Element. You have keys in Matrix.
Or Matrix, wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
But that
you
adds
can access
to the
them in the Element app, though.
Right.
That's the only thing I've ever used.
That adds to the confusion of
it does.
how all this stuff
Do I sound
works,
confused to you? Because I really am.
No, you sound on top of this.
Yeah, you don't sound it.
I don't know why I need keys. I don't need any keys. I just want to use the app. I want to use Telegram.
So if you had the same phone forever, you would never have to do that.
Who has the same phone forever? Come, just what fantasy world is this?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I've had mine for a while, but you just the only thing you really lose there is access to old encrypted chats.
Right.
Like if you don't have any old encrypted chats,
I didn't talk to anybody on this junk, so
you're not losing anything. You're fine.
Oh, then you're fine.
You're good. Just start over.
How do I get the shield off? I just don't want the shield. It's annoying me now.
You're going to generate new keys, and then you're going to sign all your message with that key, and then it'll be fine after that. But
if you have any other,
get your old stuff.
I don't need new. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that. I didn't have any.
This is like Proton Mail, right? Like if you forget your password to Proton Mail, like they will reset your password, and you can get access to your account, but all your old emails are gone.
Oh,
no,
absolutely.
I take that back. You can have them. They're just encrypted with a key that you don't have, and you can't read them.
But what's crazy is I have the password.
Either.
I have the password.
It's
but the
more
password's
than a password,
not your key.
I know, but I'm just saying.
It's encryption.
That should have been somewhere. They should have been like, hey, put this.
It is. It's in our podcast. That's where you're getting that.
Look.
You don't get that anywhere else. We are providing a service.
Look.
This is exclusive, my friend.
Yeah.
No, it's on the website.
Anybody
somewhere,
who
but
is
it's
still listening at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we are going down a rabbit hole, though, and I think that's the whole point. Like, we had to carve out an entire show to talk about this because it's not easy. Like, I think to sign up, yeah, sure, it's easy. But, I mean, Joe lost all of his stuff right here on the show live.
Didn't even know I had it to begin with.
Didn't even know yeah, exactly.
I lost
the
a
keys
whole
were
set of
gone.
keys.
His hard drive before.
I lost
He's
keys
lost
to the
everything
car,
plenty of
the
times.
house, the boat, the yacht.
What?
Like, I've lost
Joe
all the keys.
Joe didn't expect to go back to zero today.
Right.
A few days ago when Manjaro decided to blow everything up, sure.
Well,
not
that's
today.
I mean, that's just called updates on Manjaro. But this
updates.
is, I have a perfectly good working phone. And
Well, you updated phones.
So when I go from
keys.
Twitter to Twitter on a new phone, I don't have to start over.
Yeah,
Also
but they don't
not
encrypt
encrypted,
anything.
Do you have? I don't. Yeah.
Security is tough. Security
It
is
is.
tough.
Yeah, I don't want.
It's supposed to be.
I don't want security.
Oh, yes, you do.
You do. You don't know you do. It should be easier, but you
I
do.
do. It's just that's really that's
okay.
frustratingly not simple.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Security is not simple.
Thankfully, I have that phone. It's right there, the other phone. So I'll
Cool.
yeah.
So
well, there you
cross
go.
sign, you don't
I'm
lose
just being
anything.
the difficult guy, but it is
Well,
it is a
you
it is
play
a
that
thing.
role well.
Well, I was born to be difficult. But that's not something that I would have known. Like,
Right.
No.
Hey, all of you out there, do you know that if you get a new phone, you no longer have any of your stuff?
You know who knows? The people that read all the fine print on
we don't do
everything.
I'm not reading
I
more white
know.
papers. No
They're,
more.
They're watching the credits at the end of the movie. Those people. They know. They know.
Yeah.
The only reason I watch credits at the end of the movie is so I can see if there's anything extra after the credits.
I missed one this week, by the way, and that was frustrating. I had to read about it, and I'm like, oh. We were watching the episode of Wanda, and there's the end scene that we didn't know about.
let down.
I'm like,
Let down.
No wonder the credits said it was 10 minutes long.
No wonder the credits.
No wonder the credits were wrong.
All right, so what can this stuff do? Well,
if you have your keys.
If you have your keys.
Yeah, it's a thief. It took my keys. I can go find my car.
Real-time chat. Okay, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, this is your Slack, right? Like,
but
it
has
your
things
chat.
like reactions and stickers and other cool kid platforms stuff.
Ooh, like Discord. Ooh.
Like Discord or Telegram. It does those things, right? So it's more than just a text back and forth. It's a little better than that, right? It has VoIP. Now we're talking. It can do, uses webRTC to do the VoIP stuff, so we can actually carry on a voice conversation.
Yeah, so I can call you. I click the little phone icon and it calls you, and you ignore me, and I'm like, why are you ignoring me? And you're like, well, I don't like talking on the phone. And I'm like, well, I don't either, but I needed to talk to you. So anyway, that's not from experience.
Yeah. Also secure, though, too. That's the other thing. So we're talking secure VoIP, beyond the regular public switch telephone network.
Yep.
And beyond that, it does video as well. So you pair it up with some Jitsi, and now you got video integration.
Well, who's hosting the Jitsi?
Well, the home server would have to have a Jitsi integration. It's not super simple to set up, mind you. But,
shocker! Shocker! Oh my goodness! Are you serious? It's not easy to set up. Okay, great.
If you
some of the
up
bigger instances do.
Yeah, if you signed up at matrix.org and everybody's on matrix.org, I imagine it works just fine. Once you start talking to these people on those other servers over there, then I don't know, maybe it does work. Like if you're calling me and I'm on matrix.org, it'll work, but if I'm calling you and your home server doesn't support it, maybe it doesn't work.
Yeah, you can only go to the places that support it. I'm not sure if matrix.org does or doesn't. I can't remember.
Okay, you know what? I saw the phone icon. I just assumed. Maybe it doesn't. I'm gonna
that might be just the VoIP stuff. I'm not sure, but there are some out there that do support Jitsi, and I'll give you an example. They did FOSDEM 2021, all using Matrix along with Jitsi, and so the whole conference was done. On the Matrix platform.
All right, proof of concept. All right, I'll take it.
Okay,
that's something.
I watched a couple of the talks, and everything seemed to go really smooth. And
that was on PeerTube, right? Because that's one of those activity pub things that.
So I think they might have ultimately published those to PeerTube. I don't know. I can't remember.
LBRY? Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's for another show.
So now I think here's the point where we, as big old nerds that like to look into this kind of stuff, have to make the case. Why don't I just use Discord?
Well, so that's where I'm sitting.
On Discord.
Yeah, well,
we're on Discord.
Well, we're
we are.
literally on Discord. There's a reason we're not on Matrix. So
yeah,
I get the what. I get what it can do, or what it might be able to do. I still don't get the why I would choose it.
Yeah. And that's the selling point.
That's the part I need help with, is the why. Why would anybody choose this other than a bunch of dorks that got together for FOSDEM? Oh, shocker, they made it work and did this proof of concept. That's great. And I mean that in jest. I'm sure they're all really cool cats. But like, other than having to like set up multiple servers, who's paying for this, by the way? Who's paying for all this? Because there's no advertising. So who's paying for all these servers and instances and all this?
There are some companies behind it, and we'll get into that, and maybe in some of the history things. But a lot of it is community driven, and a lot of the community is building their own stuff, and they just feel passionate about it, and they feel passionate about security, and
and
they want to.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's the selling point. If you care about privacy, if you care about security, if you care about your messages, if you were to lose your phone and you have no way to, and you didn't back up your keys, at the very least, you can feel good about the fact that no one can go back and read all your messages when they find your phone and open up the whatever and this and that.
Look,
so,
if they can find your phone and they can get into it,
at the
then
bottom of the lake.
You didn't care about security in the first place. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
this is the least of your concerns.
You didn't install the self-destruct button, man.
It's got no passcode to get in. It just unlocks.
There's no encryption on Discord, man. We've seen more instances
Discord's
of
awful.
Discord being able to reach into servers and take a look at everything that anybody said or didn't voice chat or showed up in the video. Like, we know that they store that stuff. We know that they can go and review that stuff, and we know that they can come back and make some kind of judgment on that. And, at the very least, if you don't federate, then it's all siloed off, and it's on the person that maintains the server to decide to, not move around the encrypted stuff. But it's encrypted. So even if they did, they don't have the keys to decrypt it.
They got my keys. Dang it.
So I think security is paramount here, right?
Right. I think that's the big selling point. That's the thing that you lead with if you want someone to join Matrix and you know that they care at least a little bit about security or privacy.
And so it's also open source. So you've got, a lot of different people contributing and looking at the code. Maybe not one person looking at all the code, but it's kind of audited by multiple people that way. Maybe not you or me, but there are people looking at it.
So Dan, tell me about all these bridges. What's going on here?
Bridges. Holy cow. Matrix supports bridging to multiple different platforms.
You could just say everything.
It feels like everything. So officially supported, you have Gitter, IRC, Slack and Mattermost, XMPP. All those are officially supported, right?
Now the thing that I've realized is that like Matrix and IRC are almost interlinked. As in, I tried to join the Rocky Linux, the Rocky Linux Matrix channel, and the first thing it said to me was ChanServe told me I needed to register my nick.
Yep.
To be able to chat, and I'm like, I know these words. These aren't Matrix words. These are IRC words. So I needed to go register my nickname with IRC to be able to chat in the Matrix chat of Rocky Linux, and I'm like,
yes.
No. Okay.
So for me, that's one of the game changers, honestly, because I'm in a lot of IRC channels already.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can kind of ditch my traditional IRC client and bring some of those things into my Matrix client or element. And then I can use one client to connect to IRC and connect to Matrix. And I don't have to have a whole bunch of things open and going at the same time. So,
so we just hit selling point number 2.
Yep,
that
the bridges.
That was the other one, being able to get at all the messages that you don't necessarily have access to all the time.
Yep. So there are some community-supported bridges, and these will shock you, Joe.
Oh,
we have app.
Yeah, blown away.
Hang on. Apple iMessage.
I'm an Android guy. Sorry.
Yeah,
no.
right.
Okay, well, hold on. Apple iMessage. If I were to be on iMessage and I get a message from Matrix, is it going to be blue? That's the real question.
I don't know. I don't know how any of this
Are
works.
you going to are you going to get the message, actually?
I feel like you'll get the message. I feel like it'll be green, though.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, it's outside of their network, so it's definitely green.
Yeah, the trusted deal.
Yeah. But the fact that you can get that is actually kind of impressive.
Yeah.
That's great.
Can you message back?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the caveats behind all these communities.
Dan, you didn't set up an instance for each one of these?
No, I did not.
Dan,
no.
I'm sorry. I want to apologize to the community here. So I thought we were actually going to test each and every one of these in turn. There's only 742 of them.
You did not.
But I guess we won't have time for that today. So
hold on. Now, I have to bring this up because this was another one of those sources of frustration for me. Because when you start talking about bridges, you have to be able to define what the difference is between a portal room, a plumbed room, a bridge bot style, and puppeting and double puppeting. And it's
boy.
listen, I just want to talk to that guy on Discord. really all I want to
Right.
do.
Yeah.
I don't know what a double puppet is.
Is that where
but
yeah. Is that a certain kind of emoji? Like, what is that?
no, it's really
like a
kind of
fake
talking
move.
about the way that you are shown in Discord. Do you want a bot to just kind of retweet what you said, or do you want it to come up as your actual user to make it to have the metadata be there and to be able to reply to it? So it's a whole thing. But I gotta say, the fact that Matrix can just talk all these languages
Yeah, that's
is
crazy.
actually pretty impressive. So I
Mhm.
mean, props there. That's another one of those selling points. You talk to anybody.
Yeah, literally. So I'll run down through some more. We got Discord, email, Facebook Messenger, Google Hangouts, GroupMe. I don't even know what that is.
I don't know.
Mastodon. We can send your toots.
Uh-oh.
RSS, Twitters.
Toot at me, man. Toot
Yep.
at me.
Toot at me.
Signal, Skype, Telegram, SMS, WeChat, and WhatsApp.
You can send texts to people.
SMS.
That's
yes.
just cool.
Then
That's cool.
Weren't we
SMS.
just complaining about SMS last week?
We were. I
Come
think
on,
we did.
it's
Matrix.
green,
Take us into
Joe.
the future.
It was green.
It was green.
And so here's the one caveat that is definite amongst all of them. It breaks you down to the lowest common denominator. So, like, if I'm in a Matrix room that's also bridged to an IRC room, you aren't going to get reactions on the IRC side
Right.
of that channel, if you will, because it can't. Like, that doesn't. You can't get that across the bridge.
Yeah, you gotta upgrade to Matrix. You gotta upgrade
Yep.
to the Element app or one of the other
Mm.
70
Everybody
million
that's in the
apps.
Matrix side can see all those reactions and stickers and all that fancy stuff, but you can't on the IRC side. It just breaks it down to text.
Is it just
over
a bunch
there,
of pound
so,
signs? Just a bunch of hashtags?
more or less?
No,
yeah.
it's probably that colon winky emoji
Ah.
with tongue sticking out on the right
I
side.
don't know. Do
colon.
they even have that in IRC? I thought.
Yeah, they got that over there.
Can they do that with
the
a?
literal text? Yes.
Yeah,
The
can
literal
you-
text.
Can
yes.
you do that with a chisel and stone tablet?
You probably can.
Yeah,
I
still
guess
even.
so. Okay, all right.
But you got to put that in the mail, and it's extra because the stone weighs
Gotta
so
ship
much.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Put your 50 cents on it, and you got it.
All right, where did this thing come from?
So let's trace this way back.
Oh,
Not
boy.
really. Only 2014. 2014 is kind of where the beginning. And the early days, it was from a project called Amdocs. You totally remember that, right?
Oh,
I mean, not
yeah.
to be confused with Amway, I'm
you-
sure.
right.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sure. So they
you don't
donate
remember. I
to
don't
various. Is this a charity? What is it?
I don't know. So
Okay.
Amdocs is
Amtrak. I don't.
the funding, the founding funder, if you will. And they did most of the development work from the start, from 2014
Oh, they were a
to
phone
2017.
directory company.
Yeah, I don't even know.
They're like the Yellow Pages. They're golden
Are they?
pages. Yeah, yeah,
I'll
seriously.
take your word for it.
In
Oh, that
2014,
sounds cool.
somebody was making yellow pages. Come
Hey,
on.
I got one in the
Pages,
mail the other
sir.
day. No joke.
Yeah, they keep sending it to me. I'm like, please stop.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
have
same
the internet
here.
now.
yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So that's from 2014 to 2017. Amdocs is kind of running the show, if you will. In 2015, Matrix receives Best in Show at the webRTC show. And, so, it's kind of up and coming
Mhm.
there. But, here's the woe. In 2017, funding was cut by Amdocs.
They were
At
like,
that-
you don't fit into our golden pages kind of like our business plan. Okay, so we're gonna have to say no to you. I'm
I
sorry.
guess they didn't see, the value in it, right? So at that time, there's a huge call to arms, and they ask for, support on platforms like Patreon and LibrePay, and they even come up with a Bitcoin, send
why
it
not?
here.
Crypto was
Yeah,
all the rage in 2017. I mean, it's all the rage now because it's like crazy expensive. But I mean, yeah, I
It was the
feel you.
rage then too. Yeah, sure.
Amdocs was half owned by Southern Bell,
Oh, see,
Okay.
see,
and
Phone
Amdocs is
companies,
from
man.
Israel, 1982. I had to go all the way back
Okay.
then. Sorry, I can't look at it without going all the way back.
I'm glad you did, because I didn't research Amdocs too
That's
much, other than
insane.
that's
you didn't do your research, Dan. Come on.
Man, look, here's the
No,
social
this is-
security number of
this
the
show
owner.
is all about the research. We
I'm
don't
I'm
get
going to
anything
blame Joe
wrong.
here because that's normally his job, and he
Yep.
stuck me with it this time.
You're right.
Hey, I needed a week off.
That's fine. But they keep going, and later in 2017, they grab a corporate sponsor in UpCloud. So UpCloud is going to be where you want to host your Matrix, your Synapse servers and all of that. They're going to be your partner.
So there's UpCloud. Is that like UpDog?
Yeah. No, UpCloud is like DigitalOcean or one of those VPS host type places.
Leo.
Okay.
What's up, dog?
Not much. What's up with you?
UpCloud. What's up, Cloud?
Yeah, and if you sign up at linuxuserspace.show/upcloud right now, you'll get nothing.
You'll get $100 of free. Oh, they're not in business.
There's nothing. You're not going to get anything.
I don't know.
We got nothing to give you.
Thank you. This show brought to you by UpDog.
Yeah, probably. So 2017, 2018, they also began a partnership with, wait for this one, Librem 5 Purism.
Oh, no.
Oh.
How do I delete this off my phone?
I don't know. But, so they're going to be the default installed chat platform on, the Librem 5. Or at least that was early days, that's what they talked about.
Right. So wait, hold on. I feel like there's a super amazing business opportunity right here, though. I know why they did this.
Absolutely.
This was meant to be their iMessage replacement.
Yes. And it's supposed to be secure, right?
Right.
So,
And it's end-to-end encrypted. You got your keys. If you lose your phone, you lose your keys. Like there's security there. So honestly, this was a pretty good move by Librem. Whatever your opinions of Librem are, leave those at the door. This was a really good choice by them.
I think so. Other
too. Choices, not so much.
Can I check
this one, really good.
my Librem memory real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Librem. Here's what I remember. Give me a bunch of money. I will give you a phone, and it'll be amazing. Oh, wait, never mind. Is that am I close?
Yeah, they shot some
people
bricks.
got the phone.
Eventually, they got some bricks out the door.
Okay. Just make sure I'm thinking of the same Librem. There's a lot
You're
of
in the
them.
same zip code.
Right.
It's the same place. They said a lot. They had a lot of marketing stuff, but like this is one of the things that actually did make sense. And I'll agree with Leo. I think it was a good move. I think having a chat platform that's encrypted and focuses on security, which is what Purism was focusing on.
Sure.
That just
Right.
fit. It fit
I mean, they
really
got
well.
kill
I think.
switches
They
over
had, I was
here.
gonna say they had all the kill switches, right? They had so many they couldn't ship the phone because it killed. Killed the phone.
Yeah, well, that's a different problem for a different day. Can't help that. They had a good choice in the chat platform. That's all.
Yeah, great. So everybody's using it on their Librem 5s. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, probably. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, so 2019, it's announced that the KDE organization is adding Matrix to their infrastructure as their instant messaging platform, if you will, basically as a free and open alternative to things like Slack, Telegram, Discord, with enhanced features over regular IRC. So,
hey, let me ask you,
a biggish organization
was
jumping on the bandwagon.
During this whole time, has it always been a free and open protocol like that anybody could latch onto and use, or at some point did it become such?
As far as I know, it was always open, right?
Okay, that's I didn't know if we said that. I was just curious.
And on top of that, so KDE runs its own managed instance of Matrix. So whatever that is, I don't actually. Now that I look at it, I'm like, I want to trash my current so that I can go join up.
They have
the
their
KDE
own
one.
I'm going to join that one.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure if it's an open.
Do I have to have keys? Do I have to have key?
Look, I will go and update some documentation somewhere so I can get the ability for them to be able to be like, yeah, you can join our KDE, whatever. Yeah. But on top of that, I don't know if you have this in the notes, but it's just something I came across the other day, which was conversation. So conversation with a K, obviously K app, has Matrix just straight integrated into itself. So yeah, like as someone that uses any kind of plasma, it's built in. It's in the ecosystem. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to knock the dust off
conversation
of
for Matrix, so I can't I don't know how well it works or what features it has or any of that stuff. So that's why I didn't.
Last time I used one of those, it was called Copete.
Oh boy!
Wow. Yeah, I haven't used a desktop client to chat on anything in Telegram. Telegram's about
a while.
Yeah, but it's been a while. Telegram's about it. Cool. I'm gonna check it out though.
So not everything is perfect. Also in 2019, April timeframe, the Matrix home server, if you will, had a security breach. But the breach was not an issue with the protocol, and it only affected the matrix.org server itself and not the other home servers. So, while
because they were siloed. Or not?
I guess.
Did I
don't know
wrong?
all the details.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, what it looks like is that if you were bridging back to IRC, or if you had or your password on Matrix, you just needed to go change that, because it sounds like they were able to access the user database, and I would imagine
but
that
not
was
the
encrypted.
encrypted chats. Not the encrypted
Right,
chats.
right.
Well, they didn't have the
even
keys.
Even if they did, they wouldn't have the
keys. Gotta have the keys.
Right. So if they had the user database, that means they would potentially be able to try and brute force some of that stuff. But I mean, I don't know how far you'd be able to get with something like that.
So they have a breach, but it's not catastrophic. So that's kind of good in a bad way. And things keep rolling though. In June 2019, it's announced that Matrix is going to jump out of beta and become, a full blown thing, and it hits version 1.0. So that's a big deal.
Nice.
And
here's my favorite bullet point.
Recent though. Yeah, we're only going back to June 2019 here.
Yeah. Here's my favorite bullet point. Dan, take it away. Please tell me about this.
So in December of 2019, Mozilla also jumps on the bandwagon, and they're going to ditch IRC completely. And it actually in March 2020, they actually turned off their IRC servers.
Yep.
They jump whole hog into Matrix.
Yes.
That's their.
So if for those of you that are out there that are just not on the Firefox train anymore, but you're on the Matrix train, I mean, come on, that's a little bit, that's something.
Yeah,
I mean,
I really enjoy this. This is really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
have you used IRC lately, Joe?
They'll be out of business in a year. So I mean, it's not like it's fine that they shut.
Wait, not going anywhere.
Wait, when does Google stop?
They're blocking.
When does Google stop paying their bills? 3 years. So in 3 years,
no.
When the class action lawsuit finally happens, Google is whatever.
Firefox is not going anywhere. They're going to continue to be on Matrix, probably using the Element app or whatever instead of Riot IM. But they got these super cookie things. They're taking care of your super cookies. They got the picture and 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 picture. And that's all you need to know.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody
because
needs
we're not
going to
have time.
Pictures.
Yeah, we're not going to have time for Mozilla Watch, so I got to get my Mozilla punches in real quick.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. So in May 2020, they announced that the end-to-end encryption is default for the private conversations.
Yes.
And this is where they bring out that cross-signing, cross-sign your other
lose the keys to your car
devices.
You're out
yeah,
of luck.
This is where Joe loses his keys and he throws them out the window. And then he drives away.
Yep.
So it's they announced the method of cross-signing your other logins, so you have end-to-end encryption everywhere. And lastly, in October 2020, Element, the company behind the client, acquires Gitter. And so
Gitter
essentially, Gitter is a chat platform from GitLab, and essentially they're going to migrate everybody into the Element app and onto Matrix. So
okay, I know we don't have a lot of time to talk about Gitter, but Gitter is basically the way that people that submit code to GitLab are able to communicate with each other. Am I off the mark?
I think so, yeah. Also GitHub too, I think. I think it's also usable over there too as well. But maybe that's only since they're split. Okay.
So Gitter, that was taken and just shoved into Matrix now. And so anybody that was on Gitter can now access things that are already on Matrix.
That's my understanding, yes.
Sweet. That's really actually kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah. And that I'm sure that grabbed a whole bunch of folks.
I mean, there's tons of people on GitLab, so yeah. Heck yeah. So
hopefully that brings a little more insight as to what's going on here.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty nerdy perspective of it all, because I mean, I don't know. We're not that guy. We're not that person that just won't go look it up, because obviously we looked it up.
Yeah.
we went in, we all signed up, we all have an account, or we had an account already coming into this. I mean, we have a pretty good understanding now of what it takes to at least participate in Matrix, and even a maybe even lesser understanding of what it takes to spin up a server and federate it all and make it all work and all of that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's still difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not super straightforward.
Yeah. So just like we approach any distribution, I think we do take the geeks look at it and what's under the hood and what's powering it and how does it work and what are the toys and what's the glitz and what's the glam. And I think we can look at this in the same light. When we look at a distribution, we also come from, okay, I'm a new user. This is my first tiptoe into Linux, or I'm setting this up for the first time. What's my experience? And I think in true Linux fashion, or open source, I'm going to say open source fashion, but in true open source fashion, there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. There's a lot of promise.
Yeah, absolutely.
You hear us say that about distributions a lot. There is a lot of promise here. The fact that you can bridge, and I know some of it's ugly. Like I've seen the bridging with Telegram. It's not great. You get the messages, but they look funky, and maybe that has to do with the hand puppet thing, whatever. Like, whatever it's called, hand
puppet
double
on a puppet on a puppet,
double
on a puppet,
puppet, whatever. But there's a lot of cool, the reason this came up is because we were saying like, oh, I gotta text Dan, and then his message is green and Leo's is blue, and then I gotta get on Telegram to talk to some other person. I gotta get on WhatsApp to talk to my mom. Then I gotta get on WeChat, talk to my cousin, and then I'm DMing people on Twitter to talk to them, and it sucks. It sucks to have 9 apps to just talk to people when we used to just use email or the phone. We used to just use email.
No, I'm happy we're not doing that.
Right.
Let's not do those, either of those.
I'm very glad we're not there anymore. But we went from just the phone and handwriting letters to email and whatever. Now we're just, it's so parsed out that it's hard sometimes to have all these apps.
Yeah.
This is a lot of promise that maybe we could tie in. What does Matrix look like in 5 years? That's exciting to me.
Exactly. It's not a really old project, or, none of the standards. It's all fairly new. And in another 5 years, I think we'll see it, grow and blossom.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I was picking at it for not, and I'm playing the guy. I'm being that guy because I'm good at being that guy. But
you just are that guy.
I am that guy.
Yeah, sometimes you are.
Well, fine, but whatever, guys. But in truth, no, this is not something I'm going to tell my mom or dad to go sign up for. This is not something I'm going to tell my friends that, hey, come find me on this. However, a few years ago, I would have told my friends, hey, come find me on Telegram or Signal. Yeah. And you know what happens every now and then? They find it on their own. And you know how Telegram will tell you, like, hey, these contacts just joined Telegram. And I'm like, what? Who is
Signal,
this?
same way. Yeah.
Same thing. So, again, the promise is there. Hopefully it keeps developing. I hope all this effort keeps going into it. I figure, you didn't answer my question. Who pays for all this? That was my last question. Who's paying for all the servers? Do you have to roll your own server?
Let's put it this way. FOSDEM always had to pay for distribution and recording and people to handle it and everything else. That money just went to a different company this time.
Okay.
I would imagine that it's coming from donations and sponsorships and everything else.
Well, that's for their event. So, right.
And if you want to spin up your own server, then I guess you're spinning up your own server, paying for your own VPS. You're just like you do, we want to host Hedgestocks. Guess who? One of us is, or
who pays for the Matrix, Matrix servers?
Who? Let's not just say guess who. Dan, thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so is this all publicly supported? Like, how is it funded? That's all. Just those kind of things. Because any project, if you get, we kind of know Twitter's going to be there, right? We think, at least. I mean, they've stumbled to make money or whatever, but they've been there. They've been doing it. We know Facebook's right going to be there. Like all these apps are iMessage is going to be there.
They pay for it too, except for they don't pay for it. You pay for it, and you pay for it in your attention, in ads, and all that other stuff. Right?
Exactly.
Right.
So there are no ads. I know where I get it. I know they're not like just nice people giving us a service.
No, they're making money. Yeah.
They're making money at it. So how is Matrix? How is Matrix going to continue to support itself and all of that?
A couple of ways. They have hosted servers, so they can host your own instance, and they'll charge you for it. They'll run the service. They'll run the whole thing. You just pay them money, and you can have your own domain, and they'll take care of all the work for you.
Okay.
And so there's different levels to that.
I'm actually interested in that. That's cool.
So there are some they offer some services along with the
services.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and then they have the foundation who take donations and
Right.
Patreon and LibrePay and all these things. And
very good.
So I think they're in a pretty good position.
I think they have a good model. Yeah, between those two things, I think they can keep it sustainable. And it seems like they're doing good stuff. They're pulling off big conferences like FOSDEM. That's no small thing. That's a pretty big conference.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's
So bottom line, before you at me, but do at me, I'm sold. Like, Matrix has all of the cool stuff that all of the other protocols have, that Discord has, that Slack has, that Telegram has, that Signal has. It has all that stuff. And that part was not communicated when I heard about it to begin with. And so I'm just sitting here thinking, why do I care about another Yahoo chat? I don't care. Like, none of this matters to me. I'm going to join another protocol or join another service to join another room.
I'm on Messenger, MSN Messenger. Come talk to me.
You hit me up on AOL Instant Messenger. You get me on ICQ. You hit me on Yahoo Chat. Yeah.
But you do care, Leo, because this fits right inside of your tinfoil hat there.
It does, and that's why I'm sold. The fact that Joe lost his keys and potentially may have lost his messages, that is a feature to me.
How dare you, sir?
It's not a bug.
Yeah, it's not a bug.
It's a feature.
I had no messages. I didn't talk to anybody.
Right up my alley. So we probably got something wrong somewhere in here.
Oh, lots of things.
Oh, I don't know that my research was perfect.
But hold on, I want to point out, before you go, Leo, this was all Dan. Leo and I, we didn't even want to do this episode. So
whatever.
He had all the research. I was
That's
like
KC2BEZ on Twitter.
Exactly. KC2BEZ7Z on Twitter. And his personal email address is dan.simmons at matrix.org. I get paid.
Yeah. Whatever.
.com. No.
Oh, man. Okay.
No.
So
it's good. I agree. I agree with you, Leo. It is good.
I'm on the train. Once people start, once like it hits the big time, once it goes viral for some crazy reason or whatever, I think that's really when the turning point's going to be and Matrix is going to get more popular overall. But right now, it's pretty barren, right? I mean,
I think we're on the cusp.
Join.
There are some big rooms. Some of the rooms are really big.
Yeah.
And so
Blizzard had like 4,000 people in it or something like that.
That's a lot of people. That's great.
That's tough.
So my concern with it, using it right now, is so let's just say our little audience here, our humble little podcast, we've got a Telegram chat, we've got a Discord server.
We can bridge them, and that will be horrible.
And it will be just horrendous.
I don't think we want to.
Right.
We don't want to.
So I'm still having to just go to a lot of places to do things. And I'm so I've got to spend I don't have a lot of time. I know you both don't have a lot of time. I've got to spend my time where it's best going to. So if I can only spend 20 minutes or 30 minutes on Telegram or Discord or Element, I got to go where the people are. And so until there's people there, it's a little hard for me to think it's very useful, other than, it'd be probably a good Slack replacement or something like that for If we were using, we just moved everything over to Discord, but if we were using Slack still, it might have been a good solution for that or whatever. But I just do feel like,
yeah, and like I mentioned, it's an IRC replacement for me because I can join the same IRC rooms and use one client and join Matrix rooms.
Here's I think a really good thing. We could spin up a Linux user space at freenode.com or whatever, and then bridge that to the Matrix. And we would have, all of that nice and intertwined. But that doesn't even matter. Here's the thing. If you care about Matrix, I don't know how to actually say it. Because there's a bunch of like symbols in there. Plus Linux user space :matrix.org. That's us. We're there. It exists. You can go join it right now.
I have a shield on my name, so you can't talk to me.
Yeah, he has a shield. He can't see his messages anyway. But
I don't have any keys.
But if Matrix matters to you, go join that channel and we'll see how much and how many and who cares and whatever. And if it blows up, if we end up with more people in Matrix than we have on Telegram or Discord or something like that, then, I mean, we don't have any choice but to focus over
Absolutely.
there, right?
100%.
You gotta go where the people are.
100%.
Yeah.
So
we'll put a link down there and you can join if you like.
Yep, it exists. Go check it out. I'm down. I love it.
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Who's
Can
keeping?
I keep your house
No,
in my pocket, please?
Oh, it's very linty and dark.
Yeah, they're very deep pockets. They are jinkos.
Oh,
There's
lots
no money.
of money.
No money. No.
Lots of pesos.
Yes, it's Mexican pesos.
Clean the house, Dan. I ain't telling you again.
The open source community has some fantastic members, and we want to make sure to highlight that. Our showcase this episode has, wait for it, This Week in Matrix.
Oh, Lord.
Had to be a Matrix thing.
You guys.
Had to be.
You can catch up on all the happenings and surrounding on the Matrix protocol, the servers, the clients, everything that supports it.
Sounds riveting.
Every Friday, there's a new blog post and a short video. We call it Matrix Live, and it's a great way to keep informed. This is your homework, Joe and Leo. I want you to go.
Okay, no.
I want you to go.
No, I forbid it. Let me tell you why.
Why?
I went to the most recent blog post as I was kind of like looking up things, Matrix and all this stuff, right? And I saw this graph where there was like a beta and an alpha and some lines and chats and how it works, and I was like, that was way over my head. So I just watched the video instead.
That was a good call.
Oh man, there's
scroll
like
down a little bit.
There's like algebra. There's like what is going on here?
Yeah,
I don't know what's on the
not ready
graphs,
to math.
but I like graphs. Graphs look good.
They do. If they explain it in the video, then I totally consume it. I'm totally on board.
But they do tell you what's going on with the clients and the different servers that, how they're progressing and all of that. They give you an update on those things. Then they talk to the developers that are behind those things and give you an update from their perspective.
That's cool.
I think it is really cool. And they do it weekly. I mean, that's just amazing.
Dedication.
The fact that they have enough development going on in the back end, whether it comes to the Matrix protocol itself or the apps or whatever, to be able to come on a show and not rehash the same old stuff over and over and over again says a lot about how fast the development is happening in Matrix overall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's impressive. Okay, feel free to send your emails to contact@linuxuserspace.show, and we can have a discussion about them on the show. We appreciate all of our sponsors on Patreon, and if you'd like to join them in supporting the show and get some great new perks like our Discord server, and head on over to patreon.com/linuxuserspace.
I don't have a number in mind, but once we hit a certain point, I'll just be like, all right, guys, I'll just spin up a Matrix server for us. And you come sign up. And then we'll be like, Leo:*matrix.linuxuserspace.com or something.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be cool. Please follow us on Twitter @LinuxUserspace to get all the latest announcements for this show and highlights for things that impact your user space. We also have our Telegram group. You can join us over there, linuxuserspace.show/telegram, to continue the conversation there. Lastly, don't forget to rate this podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcast application, and like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, where there's video.
Yay! You can see my face.
Yeah, mine too.
Because that's what you want to do on a Monday night.
Nothing will take you back to the podcast faster than watching us on YouTube.
Exactly.
We have faces for radio.
Yeah, you know it. You can always get more information at our website, linuxuserspace.show. All right, so we want to give a great big thanks to some of our patrons. Patrons like Donnie Hanna, John Anderson, Christoph, Cubicle Nate, and Sleepy Eyes Vince.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vince.
Thank you so much for, donating to this fantastic podcast.
They just like to see us fumble around trying to figure out how to do a show. That's what they like.
That's it.
Well, I can fumble with the best of them. There's no doubt about that.
Everybody focus on the app.
In this episode, we're going to focus on some more Matrix. Because why not, right? The entire show has been about Matrix. Why not just wrap up the show with a little more Matrix? Why not? So the app we're going to focus on is Element. You know why we're going to focus on Element? Because you can get it anywhere, everywhere, all of the devices, everything you got. You want to do it on the web? You can do that. You want to do it with a Flatpak? You can do that. You want to do it with a Snap? You can do that too. iOS, Android, all the things.
App image?
It's on all the things. You would ask that? I'm going to go ahead and say yeah. You know why?
Sure.
Just because, I don't know.
If it's not there, somebody make one.
You know what? If it's not there, you're not looking hard enough.
That's it.
Look harder.
There's definitely a Flatpak, and a Flatpak is probably the preferred method, I'll say. And that works really well.
Yeah. And so far I've been using it in the web. I haven't needed to cross-sign my keys yet to get it in the Flatpak app, but I'm sure that'll happen eventually.
Careful when you're doing that. Don't lose them.
Back them up. Back them up.
Honestly, I should back them up.
Good job, Dan.
I can work with that.
So, good job.
What is Element? It's the way that you hack into the Matrix. That's how you do it. You go get the Element app, you sit down in your chair, and you plug in. That's how it works. And the reason that you would want it? Because I'm sure there's a channel that will teach you how to do Kung Fu, right?
Yeah, probably.
That's the whole reason that you get
It's
in there.
why we took the red pill. I'm waiting.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is it.
So
I know Kung Fu on Element.
So how do you use it? I mean, honestly, if you already have a Matrix account, just download Element, install it, and sign in with the same account that you used when you signed up in the first place. And it's your window into the rest of the world. All of your person-to-person chats, I don't know what you even call it. Does Matrix have a name for that? I don't know. Probably.
Your
probably
private
just
chats?
DMs,
I don't
right?
know.
It's something bad.
Yeah, private
It's
chats.
something bad. It's a bad name.
It's not bad.
It cannot be as bad as Toots.
No, it can't.
Nothing will
It
top
could
that.
be, though. There's like some really bad
I like
namers.
Toots. Toots are cool.
No,
I like
they're
Toots
not.
because it makes me laugh because I laugh at fart jokes.
Right.
Like,
I know.
that's why it's funny.
Yes.
That's what makes it perfect.
I swear, we're going to do another show about Mastodon, and
We are.
it's going to be just as long.
If you're
and,
feeling
yeah.
gassy, make sure you join us.
Yep. So it's your window into the world. Honestly, it feels like Slack to me. You log into Matrix through the Element app, and you have a bajillion different servers that you can join. You've got all of your DMs that you can deal with, and it's all encrypted. It's easy to back up your keys if you need to do that through the app. And honestly, I'm still learning how to deal with this thing. But I feel like this was the right episode to talk about Element in general. Dan, you use Element, right?
Oh, absolutely. I use Element. I use some of the other clients too, but I use Element more than any of them.
Got it. And Joe, you don't know why you use Element, but you use Element.
I don't.
right?
I have it. It's on my phone. If I push it, there's some numbers and some
It does
names.
indeed log you in.
Yeah, there's a shield.
It's on one of his phones anyway.
There's some keys.
Look up.
Yep.
I'm looking at Dan's face, and I mean, there's a shield on Dan's face. Therefore, Dan is encrypted. I know that. And yeah, I mean, through the Element app is how I created our Linux User Space channel. I mean, it seems to me that all the cool stuff that happens on Matrix happens in the Element app. You can do it all. So I honestly, I am not upset with this app. I've heard that it is probably the most feature-rich app
I think so.
out of all of them. I mean, I know fluffychat is just the coolest name
That is a
for a chat
fantastic
app
name.
ever. Yeah. I mean, Toots, no, you go over there. fluffychat, I'm down with fluffychat. So, I mean, I know fluffychat is lagging behind a little bit. So, I mean, it's really why we wanted to kind of put the spotlight on Element. So, the cool thing, I think the most important thing about Element is that, and I think all the apps do this, but when you download Element, you don't even have to have an account in the first place. You go download Element, you tap on it, and immediately it's like, how do you want to log in? Do you need to create another account or something like that? And by default, it's matrix.org.
Yeah.
And I think that's where all of us are homed. Joe,
Yes,
are you homed at matrix.org?
I
know
would.
about Joe.
I don't have my keys. I can't check.
Look, I saw Dan's username and I was like, oh, matrix.org. Yeah, I will
I
go
don't
with
know.
the big
Where
one.
would I know
Yeah.
that? How would I know that?
You go check out your username, right? I mean,
My
is that-
username
Yeah,
is
it's-
Jojo_Fet.
at
Nope. Just
no wait colon.
nope. Doesn't say. Doesn't say
No,
it.
there's a
It's probably
I just
somewhere.
like-
I'd have to
I
go
just
look
like-
him up. He's in there. I don't know.
Vector.im. What's that?
I just like saying
Okay.
colon.
Yeah.
Really, honestly.
Maybe.
Oh, is that really it? Okay, so you're on some weird matrix.
Oh no,
Of
I'm
course
at,
he
okay.
is.
Cool.
I am. I'm on matrix.org.
Wait, how did you find it out? Because I don't know. how to do
Because it's
that.
under advanced, and I'm advanced.
Oh, and I'm not.
I'm obviously
whoa.
advanced.
Whoa.
I'm. Yeah.
I am not an advanced matrix user. Wait, where is
So
advanced?
if you go to settings and you scroll
Okay, I'm
for
there.
about 8 minutes, you will get
Okay.
down to advanced, and then
oh, I see the
you
vector
see
IM
it's
thing
logged
now.
in.
Oh, advanced.
Yeah, you see?
Oh, there
see,
it
it's way
is.
down there.
All right, y'all, hold on.
If your thumb gets a running start and flips up your screen on your phone, and you just let it sit there for 35 seconds, you'll get to halfway down, which is advanced.
Look, all I'm saying is iOS has the superior accelerated scroll.
It does.
That's all-
well, it's
that's all I'm saying.
accelerated.
I mean,
I'm just. I can't imagine if it was on Android.
You get it.
One, it would
Just
be
pew!
chunky. It would be like it'd be moving like at like 10 frames per second as it scrolled
not on
up,
the
but-
$1,300 flagship
Oh,
Oppo
well,
OnePlus
you
thing,
need
whatever.
the Logitech freewheel mouse so you can just
boy.
on your phone.
No,
All right.
I have
So-
the Logitech freewheel mouse. It's amazing.
there you go. That's the
got
one
a
you
little-
need right there.
It's
Ah.
got
That's
a
it.
little
Okay,
clutch
look.
built in. Oh, hey,
That's how
let's
you
talk
scroll.
about mice and let's just derail Leo's entire app focus
Yeah, of course.
about mice.
No.
So to close this out, obviously you can figure out what your own username is in the app. I mean, I don't. Yeah, that seems.
But when you can't,
Kinda basic, but-
it's way down there, and it'll tell
way
you.
at the bottom of settings in the advanced section, right by other, where it tells you the version and stuff.
Yep.
But while we're looking at it, what are your handles? Mine is at Leo Chavez :matrix.org.
Mm.
Well, I'm going to shock you. I'm at KC2BZ :matrix.org.
The colon, man.
You
I'm at
started it.
Jojo_Fet PHET :matrix.org.
Of course
Hold
he
on.
is.
Demon or Damon?
Damon.
Yeah,
Demons.
it's
Damon.
Demons are in the Bible. Daemons are in computers.
It's Damon. There's an A in that word.
Right.
And it's GIF. All right, so we're closing this section out.
Mm-hmm.
I hold on. There's a. I have a giraffe.
I thought
I
I
have a
could get away
giraffe.
with it.
I need to go pet.
Oh, no, I have a giraffe I need to go hang out with. Pour him a cup of gin.
Matrix, great. I do use it for Manjaro. Manjaro's on Matrix. That's where I've been on Matrix.
That's cool.
For Manjaro.
Yeah,
There you
Ubuntu's
go.
there, Linux Mint's there, everybody's there.
I think
So I mean,
all the
it's-
Linux flavors.
Yep.
yeah, slowly but surely things are looking up. So
If you hate
I
yourself,
look
you can
forward
join the
to it.
Arch one. There's an Arch one.
Ooh,
If you just want to get
ooh.
yelled at all day. There's,
Read the wiki, man. Just read the wiki.
Coming up next time, join us as we look further into Nitrux. And we are so thankful for the wonderful replies we got as we were coming up with a naming convention, and we found a winner. And I mean, guys,
It was tough. It was
it
tough.
was tough. We got some good ones.
Yeah, right down to the end.
Yep. So I present to you the extended double dose Dingo Deep Dive Distro Tango Test Drive.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Rolls off the tongue. So basically, we couldn't
perfect.
decide. Keep them coming. That was a
Yeah.
extended mix of what you sent us.
Yeah, that was a mix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please don't ever,
So
please don't ever make me say that. Come up with
Dan
something
is
better.
going
Dan,
to
you-
say that fast 10 times. Extended double dose Dingo Deep Dive Distro Tango Test Drive. Next time for your pleasure.
Thank you, everybody, for listening and for your support. Please follow along as we continue on with Nitrux. Where can we find you, fine folks?
Well, you can find me on Mastodon
What?
at Joe at c.im.
The letter C.
The letter
This
C.
episode brought to you by
The letter
the
C.
letter C. Yeah. And you can find me at Leo at c.im. Dang, that's right.
What a quinky dink!
How about that?
No, it's like we planned
It's
it.
like
or
we
something.
found the lowest populated servers so we could actually get Leo and Joe.
It says
Well,
Joe.
No, I'm not that fancy. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
this
You
guy.
can
Why did we bring this
can
guy?
find me at KC2BZ at mastodon.technology.
What?
It's got a ring
It's
to
like
it, though.
75 more letters than ours.
Oh, you'll be okay. Join us in 2 weeks when we return to the Linux user space.
See ya.
Bye.